little bounce in your step, and everyone around the office feels good. And it's always nice immediately after a win, and we say you get 24 hours to enjoy it, and then we're back to business.
Yes, and the Rams took care of business last night, and that is I guess sort of a classic trap game.
Sure.
2 emotionally draining road wins. Of course, the big rival coming in Saturday, and then they have a Fordham team. But the Rams took care of business, which they're used to doing.
We did. I think our guys really came in with the focus of making sure we take care of what we need to take care of. We were a little loose with the details early on, but I thought we did a real nice job of figuring it out. Anytime you can win a league game and you're up 10 early and you just you stay up 10, 12 points and then it grows to 20, and you feel like, well, I think we could have been better. Then that you've done a good job with your program, and you're right. Coming off 2 huge road wins, an emotional road win on Saturday at LaSalle, and certainly looking ahead a little bit as our fans do. Looking ahead to Saturday, I was talking to some fans before the game, and people say, "Well, Saturday's a big one." I said, "We don't talk about that until we get through Wednesday," and we got through Wednesday, and then we started to think about Saturday. So, but it's okay. I'm part of our guys. That could have easily been a game where we weren't as focused, and I thought we did a real nice job.
You mentioned this great start. In fact, it's the best start under Coach Smart, 17-4. For all the accomplishments and accolades, this is the best start for VCU under Coach Smart.
It is, and it's the best start we've had as a program in a long time, since when Anthony was the coach. So, I think it's a credit to what he's been able to do when people feel like, we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there, and it's the best start we've ever had with him, and that's some pretty talented teams. I mean, we was 5 seed last year. We didn't have the start like this, and I think we've also played a harder schedule than we've played in a long time. That win in Charlottesville looks a whole lot better the way they're playing right now, and in some of our games. So it's been really nice. I mean, here's the unfortunate part is that the teams we have in front of us, they're really good too.
Yes.
And they're going to try to win too. And you know how I feel about when other teams try to win.
I'll say this. Scott Day and I were going over some, and going into last night, VCU was one of just 2 teams in the nation that had 4 true road wins over teams with an RPI of 80 or better.
Yeah.
Michigan's the
other one. Yeah.
Right? And that's saying something. I don't know if that changed last night, but there's really nobody else in that territory. That says a lot about this way this team. We know they're good at home.
Yeah.
But they dial it in when they night in and night out.
And I think part of it has become, Greg, we have so many options on offense too. Last year we kind of got a little reliant on if things weren't going well offensively, well, Buzz would hit a 3 or Buzz would hit 3 threes or whatever, and we kind of fell into that trap a little bit. And in some of our road games that we weren't as successful as we wanted to be, that got us. And now we have so much more balance, and a guy like Melvin can step up and make shots, or a guy like Trey, or a guy like Javante. I mean, the games they had last week were ridiculous, but it's fun. It really is to see us grow and see us mature as a team, and you have to win road games in your league if you want to be an NCAA tournament team.
Since before we go to break, VCU's now won 15 straight at home. They basically haven't lost at home in over a year. And, Saturday is a deal. It's an 11 a.m. start, which is obviously a little odd. It's nationally televised. And, we certainly just want to encourage fans. The VCU fans are such a big part of the home experience. We want to make sure that, everybody sets their alarm clocks and gets in there early, because that's important on Saturday.
Well, that's a really big thing for any of our fans. If people could get there early and put it on social media to be there early and all that. Our building's electric, and there's no building like it in college basketball, but we don't want it to be the first media timeout when it finally gets going. I mean, we want it to be during layup lines. We want it to be like Butler was last year.
No question.
Just absolute electricity from the get-go, and make it frenzied the whole time. Because we say it all the time, but our fans need to understand our student athletes feed off that energy.
Yes,
they really, really do, and it's important to them that our fans are bumping like that early. So our hope is that everyone gets in there early, gets a coffee, a latte, whatever they like to have.
Right.
Maybe a bagel.
Students, first 300 students in line. Breakfast burritos. Come on.
And who doesn't like a breakfast burrito?
I do.
I know you do.
I will have a few, no doubt about it.
I know. But it's a big deal. I mean, so we need our students to be crazy. We need our fans to really be locked in.
It'll be great. All right. Hey, there's a big game coming up on Sunday, too. You may have heard of it, Super Bowl 48.
The NFL is still going on.
A couple of guys from Richmond playing in it.
Yeah, I heard
We're
that.
excited about that. But we're not going to talk so much about the game, but we are going to talk about Richmond's connection to the Super Bowl through Super Bowl commercials and the VCU Brand Center. That is coming up next. Ed McLaughlin, Greg Burton. We're live at a Home Team Grill in the Fan on ESPN 950.
This gamified moment is brought to you by the Virginia Lottery.
VCU alumni discount.
Rodney, you ready for the big game tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodney. The discount's only for VCU alumni members.
Man, it's all right. Let's go blow off some steam at the gym. Come on. Keep pushing, Rodney. I need one more rep from you. There you go.
Hey, you with the horns. Do you have your VCU alumni membership? Ram Nation, don't let this happen to you. Join VCU alumni today.
Look closely. Do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do. At Virginia Commonwealth University, learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?
While Campbell was discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
And I'm judged, obviously, in the media by wins and losses. I understand that, but that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is to help our guys be the best they can be, and by the time they get out of here, really realize the potential that they have. If we do that with each one of our players, then winning's going to take care of itself. That's how I make it real. All right, what's next?
At Virginia Commonwealth University, research happens everywhere. From classrooms without walls to a campus without borders. All you have to do is jump in. VCU, make it real.
VCU stand up. You don't want to go to war with the Rams. Join a group bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. VCU is key to victory. Has history. $25 is all it takes. Represent the Rams across the states. This counts.
For years, homeowners have asked for a service plan that covers all the major systems of their home. Today, Woodfin is proud to introduce the revolutionary new Whole Home Protection Plan. Does that include dog houses?
Woodfin's benefits are stacked. Rolling with the peppers, yeah, that's where it's at. Membership. The Ram Nation is up to you.
On ESPN 950 online at ESPN950am.com. Super Bowl 48 coming up on Sunday. Of course, everybody's excited with Michael Robinson out of Rhino High School, Russell Wilson out of Collegiate representing Seattle. But there's another really strong Richmond connection to not just this Super Bowl, but past Super Bowls and Super Bowl commercials, Ed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if our football fan wannabes here in Richmond, would know it, but VCU and our Brand Center's connection to the Super Bowl is very, very strong. You know, we have a lot of VCU alums who work on Super Bowl commercials and do a phenomenal job, really bright, talented people. And it all comes from our guest today, which is Helene Spivak from the executive shows, what they want, really excited about it, but no one understands what goes into it. How far out do these things get started? Kind of take us through the process of getting a commercial done.
There's so much more that goes into it now than one commercial. Years ago, which is when we had the surprise, everything would be revealed the day of the Super Bowl. They would go into it months and months and months before, and you'd have to get the right director, and everybody would be fighting to get those big names, and so it was a crowded field. But now, the day after Super Bowl, they're planning the next Super Bowl because it's not just a commercial anymore, it's all the events.
It's an event
It's an event.
Yeah.
Because if all you talk about is the Super Bowl commercial, you wait for it the day of, the day after, all of that stuff it's gone, all that money. But if you start 2 or 3 months before, you put out teasers for these commercials, then you're going into the Super Bowl, you actually are looking forward to them.
Right.
People are putting out print ads for a commercial that's going to run on the Super Bowl. It is a very big, expensive deal.
How many people typically on a Super Bowl ad campaign? How many people typically work on something like? It's not just one person kind of whittling away at it, right?
Not anymore. Although it could be. In terms of production,
If they're really, really smart, they could be.
if they do really good whittling.
Yeah.
And have a lot of good friends that work for free.
Yep.
But you could do the production of it because of everything that's available now in technology.
Yeah.
You could do that a couple of weeks before. But in order to seed the buzz, in order to get people to share these commercials, they want viewership.
Right.
They don't just want that one massive viewership. They want these commercials to be shared. People going in saying, I can't wait to see the Volkswagen ad, which one of our students happens to have been involved with.
Yep.
We have 8 commercials in the Super Bowl that some of our alums have been involved with each of them.
Wow.
One of them is, I think, going to be one of the most talked about, which is the Volkswagen German engineers getting their wings. You'll see that. You could probably see it online now.
I was just going to say, maybe we can pull it up.
It's pretty amazing and very funny. And also we were involved, maybe not the same alum, with the Darth Vader one last year with the Power.
Absolutely.
Also
Which was huge.
Huge.
Yeah. But it takes many people. It maybe just takes one person or 2 people to get an idea, and then you bring in the directors and the producers and all of the interactive people and the media people that tell you where it should go. How do you get a buzz going for it? A commercial doesn't work as hard on its own. You have to. It takes not a village. It takes an entire team to get this thing off the ground.
Well, and you had a long career before you came to the Brent Center, a long career in advertising.
Yeah.
For an ad agency, how big is it to have one of these commercials? I mean, is that a focal point for the entire year? Is it, in terms of?
It's huge. I did. I had in my entire career. I had one Super Bowl commercial.
Which was what?
It was for an aspirin product, and it was with Leonard Nimoy for Aleve. It was,
Nice. Really?
Yeah, it was a pretty well received
that's
commercial.
great.
It's hard making that Vulcan sign.
Yeah, it is.
You have arthritis.
Yes.
You may end up accidentally making someone disappear.
Someone else, exactly.
But it was our entire focus because the client was Bayer. They didn't do them often. And if you're going to spend that much money, and it was down to the wire, and you have to get the right talent, you have to negotiate, it gets everybody involved. There were hundreds of people involved in that.
Is there a formula? Do you think there's a formula that makes a good Super Bowl ad funny, serious, thought-provoking?
The only formula you'll see is there'll be babies, there'll be dogs, there'll be all of that kind of stuff that either gets the Anheuser-Busch will usually do the heartstring stuff.
Of course.
But the formula is the only formula is be spectacular.
Yeah.
If you've seen the stuff for that's using the Matrix. One of them is using Lawrence Fishburne as his character in The Matrix, and it turns into a massively spectacular cars all over the place, and you have to cut through. If you have people waiting, it's very difficult to be on the Super Bowl if you're not spectacular, because people will notice that too.
Yeah, and then it becomes a negative for you.
Yeah.
It really does, right? I mean, how much does a Super Bowl, the VCU Brand Center's alums or students doing it, how much does that help you when you talk about bringing students here to the Brand Center?
What's so amazing is some of them just graduated 2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah.
To know that we're putting out basically professionals that are equipped to just hit the ground running and are capable of doing a Super Bowl commercial is what makes me, proud of the faculty and the quality of the student we get at Brand Center. They go out there, they hit the ground running, and they do it. And to have 8 spots in this year's Super Bowl is just proud and amazing.
Well, and you look at it, I don't know if a lot of our listeners would know, a 30-second spot costs $4 million. So that's a lot.
And
That's
they're sold out.
And they're sold out.
Yeah.
That's big business right there that the Brand Center students and alums are participating in.
That's also, as you said, big business and tons of responsibility. Imagine that,
Yeah.
that the $4 million is on your back, and it's like it's my spot. That's why it has to be spectacular, so people will carry it through. I think the most people want to see is who shared it on Facebook, who tweeted about it, who's talking about it now, and that's why they have teasers. I don't know if you've seen. I saw a really great one with the yellow M&M. There's something
Really
that's going to
good.
be happening with the yellow M&M.
Oh, nice.
No.
I love yellow M&Ms.
Well, I hope we'll be able
Black
to see
and yellow
it again.
M&Ms mostly, but yeah.
Is there another stage or platform on television that rivals Super Bowl Sunday for advertising?
There used to be, but it used to be the Academy Awards, and they just don't do it anymore because we're award showed out. And there's just something special about the Super Bowl. There's something special about the get-together and the parties, and there's always been something special about the commercials because people will get their favorites and then want to see how does it measure against the favorites that are in the newspapers. And I got that one, and that one was mine, and I was right. It'd be nice if there was as much betting going on in the commercials as there is about the Super Bowl, but not that there's any betting on the Super Bowl.
No, but I've seen
No,
kind
no.
of like charts and
Yeah.
grading and stuff like that, rating the commercials.
It's like they'll have a Super Bowl commercial bracket to see which one gets, there's no other event that's talked about the day after the commercials. I mean, people watch the Super Bowl sometimes to watch the Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, and I'm doing something 2 days after where we're going over just a local, the Richmond Ad Club, to go over what was most effective and kind of analyze. And that's the only way they can get kind of like a model. If this won this year, how do we outdo ourselves next year?
Wow.
And we try to outdo ourselves, the industry, and all the talent for that next year. I mean, New York has turned into Super Bowl Boulevard.
Yeah, Broadway, right?
Broadway they have toboggan, I think. Now, can you imagine, you're in New York, you're trying to cross the street, there's a toboggan in your way.
And they're impatient as can be.
Impatient as can be. Yes, there are going to be cabs on that toboggan.
Well, before we let you go, do you have, other than the one you obviously did, do you have a favorite Super Bowl commercial of all time?
I think my favorite is always the next year. And I think one of them is, you're going to see, and again, my personal favorite, there are going to be a lot of them, and I think you'll see why, is the Volkswagen.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's
That's
wonderful.
great.
No, thank you.
No, thanks so much
Thank
for joining
you.
us from the internationally renowned VCU Brand Center. Let's take a quick time out. We'll come back. We're going to talk to a guy that a lot of folks remember, a longtime Duke Blue Devil, NBA veteran, and now working for CBS Sports Network, Ala Abdul Nabi. He's going to join us next, talk a little VCU and A10 basketball right here on ESPN 950. Want to see the all-new 2014 Chevy Impala? You're in.
I research and collect quotes. Those provide me with motivation, inspiration. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. John Keats said that. To grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. Do you have the propensity to be motivated from within? That's my version of making it real.
Here you go, Joey. You received your VCU alumni discount.
Rodney, you ready for the big game tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodney. The discount's only for VCU alumni members.
Man, it's alright. Let's go blow off some steam at the gym. Come on. Keep pushing, Rodney. I need one more rep from you. There you go.
Hey, you with the horns. Do you have your VCU alumni membership? Ram Nation, don't let this happen to you. Join VCU alumni today.
Look closely. Do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do. At Virginia Commonwealth University, learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?
While Campbell was discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
And I'm judged, obviously, in the media by wins and losses. I understand that, but that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is to help our guys be the best they can be, and by the time they get out of here, really realize the potential that they have. If we do that with each one of our players, then winning's going to take care of itself. That's how I make it real. All right, what's next?
At Virginia Commonwealth University, research happens everywhere. From classrooms without walls to a campus without borders. All you have to do is jump in. VCU, make it real.
VCU stand up. You don't wanna go to war with the Rams. Join a group bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. VCU alumni is key to victory. Gold has more benefits than Richmond has history. $25 is all it takes. Represent the Rams across the states. Discounts, pride, the benefits are stacked. Rolling with the Peppers, yeah, that's where it's at. Membership, that's the move. Build a Ram Nation, it's up to you.
I research and collect quotes. Those provide me with motivation, inspiration. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. John Keats said that. To grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. Do you have the propensity to be motivated from within? That's my version of making it real.
Great to have you with us here, and thanks again to Helene from the Brand Center for coming on and talking about the Super Bowl. It's amazing how many folks in the VCU Brand Center are associated with Super Bowl commercials this year. 8 different commercials. Go get back to the basketball talk. We had a chance to have this guy here at the Siegel Center a couple of weeks ago. Most of you remember when he started at Duke University, went on to an NBA career, and now he's working for CBS Sports Network. So glad to have on the show Alaa Abdelnaby. How are you, Alaa?
I'm great, Greg. Ed, how's everybody doing? Good to be with you guys.
How you doing? Things well in Montclair, New Jersey, or what?
You know what? Staying as warm as possible. These last couple of days, as I'm sure you can attest to, have been colder than normal. So we're staying indoors and trying to stay as warm as possible.
Well, we're going to get right to the questions, the hard-hitting questions that we always have here on An Hour with Ed. Are you the only person without the last name Obama who actually DVR'd the State of the Union address?
Well, listen, I majored in political science.
I know.
At Duke, we had a tremendous political science department with a lot of guys. Obviously, Terry Sanford was our president. He was a senator from North Carolina. So we had a lot of people that were really influential. So being around them day in and day out, it really just, I caught the bug, and I've had it ever since. It's something that I try not to tweet about it too much because there's always somebody on the other side of what I'm thinking that doesn't like what I'm tweeting, so I get to hear a lot of negativity at times.
That's okay.
People would just tell me to stick to basketball. So at times I do follow that advice, but it definitely is an interest of mine, yes.
Well, sticking to basketball as you recommended, you've seen a lot of leagues this year and seen a lot of basketball so far. How does the A10 stack up from what you've seen in terms of other leagues and in terms of teams that could get bids to the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think the A10 probably more than any other league is a guards league. I think you see most of the teams there. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't big guys in the leagues that contribute to their teams. I'm just saying the way the style of play is Even the way VCU plays with the pressure, it depends a lot on the guards.
Yep.
But I think that's what makes the A-10 a little different than other conferences. Other conferences like the ACC or the Big 12 or even the Big 10, they have some big guys. I'm thinking of Kansas right off the top of my head with an Embiid kind of guy. You don't see that kind of guy in the A-10. So I think that's the big difference. But as far as the way they've been playing thus far, impressive to say the least. And I think they're going to get better as the season goes on. I think them playing each other, having the guards play a predominant role, I think will help moving forward when you go talk about conference tournaments and in particular the NCAA tournament. The way the game is played now, it's a guard-oriented, guard-dominated kind of game.
Yeah.
You very rarely see teams with two big guys that can play. Not just two big guys that are taking up the 4 and 5 spot, but guys that are actually threats out there on both ends of the floor. So I think that's the thing that sticks out to me when you mention the A-10.
Is that what's changed the most since when you played? I mean, you were a first-round draft pick at the Trailblazers. I mean, you played on some very, very high-level teams, but has that what's changed about the game the most since you played?
Well, I totally think so. I mean, even when you talk about the big conferences, the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, the lineups look entirely different than when I played. For instance, my senior year in the ACC, Carolina had 3 big guys that were NBA players, J.R. Reed, Scott Williams, and Pete Chilcutt. All those guys wound up playing at the next level.
Yep.
If you look at Maryland had Gerard Mustaf, Tony Massenberg, and Walt Williams. Clemson had Dale Davis and Eldon Campbell.
Yep.
So if you think of the lineups back then, each team, no one thought about having just one big. You needed 2 bigs out there because more often than not, the team you were facing, lining up against, was going to have 2 very competent bigs. That's not the case now. You see a lot of teams with 1 big guy, and then the 4-man is basically a 3 guy who likes to play outside and he can stretch the defense, and you very rarely see a team with 2 bigs. I could think of New Mexico as a team with Alex Kirk and Cameron Bairstow. Those are 2 guys that you have to cover. That makes them unique in this day and age.
We're talking with Ala Abdelnaby from CBS Sports, and what's it like being on the side of the microphone that you're on now? I mean, you know, as you were a player for a long time and played in the NBA, and now you're on this side of the microphone. What's that change been like for you?
Well, I love it. After playing basketball and getting to live a dream, there's a letdown after it's done. You try to figure out where your life is going to go, what direction. And I tried a lot of different things before I wound up settling in TV. Even though I started in TV when I played, it just never seemed like something that was reachable because I hadn't really devoted full time to it. And then starting in 2006, I just put my head down and decided this is what I wanted to do. And here I am. But what I hope to get across whenever I'm doing a game or anything is it's not about me anymore. It's about these kids now.
Yep.
I had my time, and I just remember when I played how my mom and dad used to hang on every word that announcers said about me. So I value the parents sitting at home watching their kids play and listening to me talk about them. So I'm mindful of that, and I try never for it to be about, back when I used to play. There's a lot of guys who do that, and I didn't want to be one of those guys because, like I said, it's all about the kids that are playing now.
Well, you've been to a game here at the Siegel Center and done a game here. What do you think?
I love it. I think, I come from a place, Cameron Indoor Stadium. That's my baseline. That's what I start with. So I compare every place to that, whether I realize it or not. But certainly going into the Siegel Center, I had seen a lot of games on TV, saw how raucous and loud it can get in there and what an advantage it is for the Rams when the place does get lathered up. But the kids were on break. So I think, I didn't get to see them at their best. Although I will say this, the band is probably the best band I have ever seen.
Probably or yes?
Because they're unbelievable.
They are unbelievable.
They're just so gifted, so talented, so current. You hear a lot of bands who play some old stuff. These guys are playing stuff that you hear in your radio on the way to the game. which was kind of neat. But I'll be down there again on the 6th for another matchup. So I'm looking forward to checking out the Siegel Center at full strength.
It'll be bumping. Then, as you look at our team, the Rams, the VCU Rams, how do you see that we've progressed, and what do you look for us for as we go through the month of February and March coming up here? What are the things that you think VCU needs to make sure we continue to do?
Well, I think the first thing is I'm impressed by their camaraderie, by how together they are. And it starts with Shaka. Just watching them that one game from my vantage point, and how he interacts with his players. I loved every minute of it. The chest bumping, the going up and grabbing guys when they dive for a loose ball or what have you. He's so engaged that I think that carries out into the way the guys play out on the floor. You can't play that style without playing together and playing for one another. So that was the first thing I gleaned from just watching them live, because I've only up until then really seen them on tape. I've never actually seen them live except for when they played in the first 4 against USC, but that was so long ago. At the time, I was calling the games for Westwood One Radio, so that was a little bit different, and the team has changed a lot. They're a much deeper team than teams in the past. I like watching them play. I think Briante Weber is getting better. I think him adjusting to the point guard position has been an adjustment for the whole team.
Yes.
Because you really miss guys like Theus. Theus was the guy that really didn't need to score, but he certainly got everybody else where they needed to be and got the ball to them where they like to operate. Briante, you can tell, is still learning that. But what he does in the full court, you can't replicate and you can't replace. He's amazing in the full court. And he's fun to watch. So I think that's my assessment for them. They're going to get better. I think the game against LaSalle was a great test for them, having to go into overtime and on the road. You worry. Listen, there's nothing tougher than a conference road win. There's, when in this part of the season now that we're playing conference games, nothing's tougher because you don't fool each other because you know each other so well, and everything is earned. So I learned a lot about that team against LaSalle because let's face it, LaSalle's pretty good with their guards as well.
Yeah,
that was a good win for VCU. So I like the chances moving forward as long as they stay healthy and continue to get better in small increments.
Well, yeah, and it's that time of the year, right, that everyone's either getting better or going in the wrong direction. And I think what Coach Smart's been able to do is, as long as he's been here, is our teams have gotten better throughout the season during the year. So yeah, I think you make a great point. Well, before we let you go, the last final question: will people be tailgating in your driveway for the Super Bowl this week?
I'll tell you what. I don't live far.
I know.
Montclair is not, as you know, Montclair is not far from the Meadowlands. I live right off of the major highway, Route 3, which runs right by the stadium. I've sworn, I've got a game Saturday night in Philadelphia. I've sworn once I get back home after that game, I will not be leaving the house.
That's smart.
Until Monday morning.
You might not be able to because it might be so
cold. There's nothing to gain from it. There's absolutely nothing to gain from it. It's going to be insane out there, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Very smart. Well, we appreciate you taking the time today.
Oliver, thanks so much.
Greg.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. Great stuff. Ala Abdul Nabi does a great job with CBS Sports. Big fan of the Peppers there.
Who isn't?
Silly question, right?
Yeah.
It's a silly question. By the way, he mentioned Briante. I don't know why we haven't talked about this. Bree is three steals short of the school record.
Yeah, it's amazing, and he brings up a great point, and I think as our team has made a drastic jump in how we've played, it is absolutely 100% coincided with the jump that Bree has brought in his play, and he's playing at an incredibly high level right now, which is great. People don't realize he's got that level of energy when he walks around the office. I mean, he's just Mr. Energy all the time, but I've really been impressed by how much he's progressed in the last 2 months.
No question. That's the school record for career steals, which it took Orlando Lamb about 120 games to do, and Bree's at like 92.
90. I was going to say 91 or 92 games.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little VCU baseball, the start of the season right around the corner. Head coach Sean Stifler going to join us next. Right here, we're live at Home Team Grill on the Fan on ESPN 950.
If you're a homeowner.
VCU alumni discount.
Rodney, you ready for the big game tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodney. The discount's only for VCU alumni members.
Man, it's alright. Let's go blow off some steam at the gym. Come on. Keep pushing, Rodney. I need one more rep from you. There you go.
Hey, you with the horns. Do you have your VCU alumni membership? Ram Nation, don't let this happen to you. Join VCU Alumni today.
Look closely. Do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do. At Virginia Commonwealth University, learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?
While Campbell was discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
And I'm judged, obviously, in the media by wins and losses. I understand that, but that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is to help our guys be the best they can be. And by the time they get out of here, really realize the potential that they have. If we do that with each one of our players, then winning's going to take care of itself. That's how I make it real. All right, what's next?
At Virginia Commonwealth University, research happens everywhere. From classrooms without walls to a campus without borders. All you have to do is jump in. VCU, make it real.
VCU stand up. You don't wanna go to war with the Rams. Join a group bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. VCU alumni is key to victory. Gold has more benefits than Richmond has history. $25 is all it takes. Represent the Rams across the states. Discounts, pride, the benefits are stacked. Rolling with the Peppers, yeah, that's where it's at. Membership, that's the move. Build a Ram Nation, it's up to you.
I research and collect quotes. Those provide me with motivation, inspiration. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. John Keats said that. To grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. You have the propensity to be motivated from within. That's my version of making it real.
Here you go, Joey. You received your VCU alumni discount.
Rodney, ready for the big game tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodney. The discount's only for VCU alumni members.
Man, it's all right. Let's go blow off some steam at the gym. Come on. Keep pushing, Rodney. I need one more rep from you.
On the corner of Main and Vine. Let's rejoin Ed and Greg to wrap up the show.
Seriously? Oh, gosh.
I feel like it's the 8th inning of soccer
Oh,
right now.
my gosh. Are we really going to pros this? You're really trying to get on Ed's good side, I guess. Goodness.
He gets a raise.
He gets a raise. Well, the first one he's ever had, so. I'll allow you to introduce our next guest here.
Yeah. So it is our VCU baseball coach, Mr. Sean Stifler.
Thank you.
Stiff, welcome.
Thank you very much.
How's the weather been for the team? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's great for baseball right now.
Yeah?
When guys are getting done what they can get done right now.
Absolutely. Well, as we look ahead to what our guys are preparing for right now, we have on our non-conference schedule Virginia Tech, Virginia, Maryland. Did and Georgia Tech. Did you join the ACC in baseball and not tell me?
No, that's planned. You know,
That's a pretty good schedule there,
Not only
Coach.
do we play those teams, we play those teams at home.
Yeah.
We have those teams coming to us this year. We're home and home with all those teams, as well as out of Conference USA, Old Dominion, and East Carolina coming in as well. So we're extremely excited about our non-conference schedule, and that's just the philosophy of this program. That every year we're going to challenge ourselves with the part of the schedule that we can control as much as possible.
Yep. And as you looked ahead from your first year to now your second year, was that something you said to yourself, hey, with your staff, hey, listen, we got to ratchet this up, or we're going to try to do this, or what was the thought process behind it? Because I'm guessing it is part of we got to get to the NCAA tournament.
Sure, absolutely. And the staff and I sat down at the end of last year and kind of put our thoughts together on how we're going to run our schedule. And our whole thought process is we would like to be judged by our body of work throughout the season. So, yes, we want to win the A-10 championship. That's going to be our goal. But that's one game at the end of May.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work out the way you want it to, you want your body of work to speak for your team. And that's really our goal year in and year out.
You talk about the A-10 this year. Mason's coming in.
Sure.
And Davidson will be in next year.
Right.
How much does that change the dynamic of the league?
It brings some more rivalries to us, which is nice too. And Davidson and George Mason both have great programs and will add to an already very competitive league. With St. Louis, Rhode Island have great programs. St. Joe's is really an up and coming program in our league as well. So I was really impressed with the talent level of the A-10 last year. Not that I thought it was going to be down, but I was super impressed. So it's just going to continue to get stronger, which we're excited about.
We had a great start to last year.
Sure.
In your first season. Then we got the injury bug a little bit and lost some close games. What did you learn as a coach between last season when it started and as you're preparing for this part of it to start?
You learn more so, and we always hear to control what you can control. Okay, we started off.
We all love to do that, don't we?
No doubt, right? We started off 9-0, and we probably weren't that good of a baseball team. And then we hit a skid where we won 3 out of 12, and we weren't that bad of a baseball team.
Yep.
You're going to have growing pains throughout your season, and it's really about weathering that storm and getting your guys to continue to weather that storm and focusing to control what they can control. And because, like you said, right now this weather, we have no control over it.
None.
We just have to be focused on what we need to do.
Well, and as you look at it too, some of our non-conference games would be during the week when you don't have your number one arm going. But you can control how you play defense. You control how you hit the ball. How much do you talk with your team about that? It is what's right in front of us right now.
Yeah, we only talk about, to be honest with you, we mostly talk about defense, pitching, and what we would like to call giving up free bases. We talk about the free base war. It's like the turnover war in football. Okay, free bases, and on the defensive side, baseball is the only sport where you have the baseball when you're on defense. So you have control over it. So we talk about constantly being able to control the baseball, controlling ourselves defensively, and just really taking care of how many and limiting free bases. Because you don't have, if the other guy on the mound's good, you're in trouble that day,
Right.
and you got to beat them 2-1. And it's going to take errorless baseball games to do that.
Well, in college baseball, used to be known as a station-to-station game, right? First to second, second to third type of thing.
Offensive, yep.
From an offensive perspective, I think our fans know that we're not going to necessarily play that way. As our fans look ahead, who are some of the guys that you think can really make a jump this year?
Well, I think first off, it's getting Bill Cullen back healthy.
Yeah.
Billy had a terrible injury to his eye last year, which really affected his season. You're talking about a guy who was third-team All-American preseason last year and preseason Conference Player of the Year. So getting him back healthy, he's a dynamic player. He can do everything. We have a sophomore coming on, a young man by the name of Cody Acker, who's coming up, that I really think can emerge this year as being an elite player. We returned Joey Kugis, who's really one of the better hitters, I think in the country,
No question.
in the middle of our lineup. And there's a couple freshmen, a guy by the name of Shane Dressler, Matt Davis, and Logan Farrar, that Ram fans need to look out for in the next 3 years. They're going to be really good.
Well, and as we look ahead, one of the highlights of this year coming up, obviously, will be the Key Dog Classic.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ballparks in America, the Peninsula Pilots baseball. Old school.
It is very old
And
school.
I'm an old school guy, Greg.
It's older than old school.
Yeah, it was the first school. I think.
I think it was.
No doubt.
But that game was a great crowd last year, and obviously for our fans, it's something that they look forward to. And and it's been great to play with ODU.
Yeah.
As we look forward to that coming up here in the second half of the season, sort of, how much does that play into how we go into it and the emotions behind it?
It does. Obviously, it's highlighted on the schedule, and you want to make sure that when you go into that game that, one, you want to win the game. Don't get me wrong, everyone's competing to win the game, but you want to make sure that the experience is not only good for the fans, but good for the players as well, and remember why you're doing it. We're so fortunate to have great partners in the Peninsula Pilots. They've been outstanding with us. Old Dominion's played a big part in this, obviously, for Coach Keys, and, it's one of those ones that we have it set up for the next 4 years. Our date's a little early this year. It's, I believe, March 26th, which is a little bit early for us this year, but we've locked that thing in for really the last week of the season over the next couple years, and it's going to be a great tradition, and I love it, to be honest with you. It was a lot of fun last year.
Well, last year we won the game, scoring 5 runs.
5 runs.
Coach Keys' number. The next day,
I had a baby girl.
You had a baby. The day after that,
I got a job.
You became the head coach.
So it was a pretty good.
Talk about a 3-game winning streak, right? 3-day winning streak.
It's a sweep for me.
I'm not quite sure you'll ever forget the first Key Dog Classic.
I will not. No, that's for sure. It was a pretty emotional 48 hours for me, to say the least.
So as we look forward to it, obviously we go through this year and go through the season, but your staff is going to be recruiting like crazy.
Yes, absolutely.
All the time on the road. How much has that changed? With the weather becomes an issue, and then your staff's going to be out on the road and going. But as you become a head coach, you've become the guy who was on the road.
Sure.
To the guy who now is making sure the guys are on the road.
Yeah. Sometimes I look at them, I think, how did I ever do that? When I hear their phones ring nonstop this time of year. Jeff and Kurt, who do an unbelievable job for our recruiting, their phones are ringing nonstop. But what happens with this weather is everything gets pushed back.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden you look up, and in April and May, and it's see you, family. I'll see you in October, and that's really what happens. But recruiting is it's a different animal these days. It's getting younger and younger. We're now allowed 3 people out on the road.
Yeah.
Which is good for me because I still love getting out there and beating the bushes, and so it continues to change. That landscape of baseball and college baseball has just really changed over the last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna talk Major League Baseball for just a hot minute before
I thought we were
let
going to talk Super Bowl commercials.
No, we're not talking. We had the expert on. You're not the expert, but you are the expert on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I do enjoy the
Pirates. Were back in the postseason last year.
Yeah, they were.
Jody Rogers, when she was on the show last year, she predicted the Red Sox would win the World Series, and they did it.
No, that's probably a safe prediction.
Are you going to go bold now?
I am absolutely not going to go bold.
Buccos this year. Playoffs again?
You remember, what was it, I believe 26 years between?
Yeah, it's just 26 years between.
Yeah, between.
Playoffs this year, what?
I know. I think they have their window is now, to be dead honest with you. They have the arms. They have the young arms. They have, that kid Garrett Cole is probably as dynamic as anybody in the game right now. In the middle of their lineup with McCutchen and Alvarez is extremely good. So, for me, what the biggest thing I'm excited about the Pirates is? Cody Epley's a Pirate.
That's
VCU Ram. So if he can get up there, that would be exciting for me. But yeah, for the first time, I'm going into my preseason baseball, Major League Baseball, thinking like, do I want to get the package? My wife going to let me? Should I ask for that for my birthday?
Can I watch 162 games this year?
You can DVR 162 games though.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean the time is limited, right? So you might be watching more games in July and August.
The big thing, the Pirates changed their logo. They got rid of Jolly Roger.
Well, they're still going to fly it. They're still fly it, but it's not going to be the crest of the organization, which is, Raise the Jolly Roger was something I grew up on, and to hear it again this year become trendy again, is pretty exciting.
Well, Stiff, always great to have you.
Thank you,
One
guys.
of the bright young coaches in baseball right now, Sean Stifler.
I appreciate it,
Great
guys.
stuff. Thanks so much, Coach. We're going to wind down the show here. Obviously, tomorrow. Well, you can get in line tomorrow.
You can get in line right now if you want.
Get in line now. You could get in line. We had a question about that, obviously. And we said, go get in line. Sure, if you want to stand out there for a couple of...
It's brisk.
VCU, crosstown rival, Richmond, 11 a.m. And certainly we want everyone to get there early. Because, it's obviously, I can't remember an 11 a.m. start. Definitely some noon starts. I don't ever really remember an 11 a.m. start. But I think it's really important for folks to get there, have a big crowd, and let everyone see on ESPN2 what a great environment the Siegel Center is.
Yeah, it's really a big one for us in a lot of ways this Saturday. And it is 11 o'clock. Butler was a noon start last year, and that was electric. And I really think our fans can beat that. So I guess the challenge to our fans is let's see if you can do it.
And it is a blackout. The T-shirt will be on your seat when you roll in.
It will.
You can go ahead and wear black if you like, accessorize, but it's got to be black.
Put your T-shirts on.
Yeah, that is a little strange,
We're going
right?
to give you a T-shirt. Go ahead and put it on.
Put it on.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is always weird when you see people like, you're not going to wear the T-shirt,
Yeah.
but it's part of the promotion. It'll look really cool. They've done that before in the past, and obviously it looks really great,
it's
even
awesome.
better on TV.
It really does.
And should be really great. Obviously, coming off a great win last night, and the Rams are rolling right now, and should be a fantastic environment. But again, want to encourage everyone to get out there early for the 11 o'clock start coming up on Saturday between VCU and Richmond. Thanks so much to our guests. Really good stuff, and we'll see you over at the Siegel Center on Saturday morning.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Ed. Quick timeout. We'll come back at the top of the hour. The Shaka Smart Radio Show live from Home Team Grill and the Fan on ESPN 950.
Hey, Richmond, this is Mark Smith with Midas.
Hey, you with the horns. Do you have your VCU alumni membership? Ram Nation, don't let this happen to you. Join VCU alumni today.
Look closely. Do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do. At Virginia Commonwealth University, learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?